Daniel Brooks had always felt a strange chill whenever he passed through the old Baker Street station tunnels, as though something or someone was watching him from the shadows, but he always dismissed it as his imagination, until one late autumn night when, after his shift at the local newspaper in central London, he took the last train home and ended up sitting alone in a nearly empty carriage, the flickering lights above him giving off a cold, sickly glow. He noticed a torn piece of an old, leather-bound journal on the seat opposite him, with faded ink dated 1891, talking about a hidden corridor beneath the Baker Street line that led to a room not meant for the living. Driven by a mix of curiosity and the instinct of a journalist looking for a breakthrough story, Daniel got off the train at the next stop and doubled back toward Baker Street, ignoring the closure signs on one of the abandoned maintenance doors. He squeezed through a rusted metal gate and found himself in a forgotten tunnel, where the air was colder and heavier, and the only sound was the distant drip of water echoing through the darkness. As he walked deeper, Daniel found old coal lanterns and brick walls stained with soot, then stumbled upon an old wooden door half broken open, through which was a small room filled with dusty newspapers, photographs of Victorian men in suits, and strange maps of the London Underground marked with red X's and handwritten notes about the experiment. His pulse quickened as he read more of the torn journal pages lying on a desk, pages written by a man named Dr. Jonathan Graves, a scientist who claimed to have discovered how to trap human consciousness between the physical world and the echo of time by using the vibrations of the underground trains. Graves wrote that he had performed the experiment on passengers in 1892, trapping them in a limbo state beneath the station, unable to move on and unable to die. Just as Daniel processed this horrific information, he heard footsteps behind him, slow and deliberate, but when he turned around, there was no one there, only the draft of cold air and the faint sound of a woman whispering his name. His phone suddenly lost signal, even though he had full battery, and as he tried to leave, he saw ghostly figures at the end of the tunnel, transparent silhouettes dressed in old-fashioned clothing, faces expressionless, hands reaching out as if begging for help. Daniel ran, but the tunnel seemed to stretch longer than before, and the lights began to flicker more violently. He tripped and fell by the tracks, where he saw an old pocket watch still ticking, engraved with the initials JG and the year 1892. He realized that Dr. Graves had become one of the trapped souls himself, cursed by his own experiment, and now the spirits were trying to warn Daniel or pull him in as well. Gasping for breath, Daniel shouted that he would expose the truth to the world, and in that moment the tunnel lights burst with a blinding flash, and he found himself back on the platform of Baker Street Station, the morning rush arriving like nothing had happened. He checked his phone. 5 hours had passed, though it felt